get so strong enough.
Happy Sunday, everyone. For the past 16 years, my husband and we have been camping on the beautiful shores of Lake Superior. And I've walked those beaches for those 16 years. And I have collected a very large amount of beach glass, or sea glass, some people call it, and tiles, and all kinds of good stuff there on the beach. And I ended up with so much of it that I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like sitting in this giant jar and it's not doing anything but sitting there. So I got the idea of making a suncatcher with it. So I bought, of course, it took some trial and error, but I've had a ton of people ask me, how did you do that? How did you do that? So today I'm going to show you how I do that. First thing you want to do is get a metal frame. You want a metal frame that has hooks on each side, or that are rounded like this. You don't want one that doesn't have a space in between, because what's going to happen is when you use your wire, your chain, it's just going to slide all over it. And what I do is, as soon as I get the frame, I pop the back off, and then I take the back off, and then I will glue the glass back into the frame without the backing on it, the part that where your picture would sit. So now I've got that glued, and then I go ahead and I take either a piece of chain or wire, depending on what type of frame you have and what color it is. This one over here, for instance, I would use a wire on this one because it has a more rustic color to it. But that's not the one that I'm working on today. I'm going to set that aside. I'm working on this one today. And because this is pretty and it's more silvery, I'm going to use a silver chain, which can be purchased at any hardware store. And what you're going to need for this project is your beach glass or sea glass, strong adhesive, either some clear nail polish or clear polyurethane, wire cutters, needle nose, a pair of tweezers, and some bumpers that you would buy for like cupboard doors. So you know what I mean, so they're not slamming. They're just little rubber bumpers. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do this. First thing you're going to do is dump out some of your beach glass, and I've done it here, and I've got a ton of it in here because you want to make it colorful. You don't want to make it all one color because it's just not very pretty that way, in my opinion. So I have got some out here already that I have decided that I'm going to put in here. And what you're going to want to do is, if you've ever played Tetris or you put a puzzle together, that is what it's like. You go through your stash of glass and you try to find pieces that fit together, close together, so that you don't end up with a lot of gaps in between. But I'm going to go ahead and I don't glue anything down until I have all of my pieces fit in there the way that I want them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start doing that. So now that I have all my pieces in here arranged the way that I would like them, and I think they look really nice and uniform together, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start gluing all them down with my strong adhesive glue. One by one. So now that I have all my pieces glued in, and you're now maybe walking on the beach and you see a piece of beach glass and it's really small, and you think, oh, that's not going to look good in anything, that's not even worth bending over and picking up. Don't pass it up. It is worth it, trust me. You're going to want these itty bitty pieces to go into these little spaces that are in between your bigger pieces that you put inside of your sun catcher. And that's where your tweezers are going to come in. And what I do is I just put a little dab of glue here on the cardboard. And then I'll pick these tiny little pieces up. And put just a hair of glue on the back of them. And then you're going to want to place those. Let's see, where's my spot? There it is. Place those in there, and then you're going to want to kind of push it down inside of it, inside that little crevice, because these tiny pieces are very important. You know, people, they don't think that they are, but they are pivotal to making a really nice sun catcher. See how that green one fit right in there in that corner? Just perfectly. Just perfect. I'm going to find I think I need a little smaller, white one than that to go in that little space there. So I'm going to dig around in here and see if I can't find a little one, which I'm sure that I can. I'm seeing these little beads that I had found on the beach. I don't know where they came from. Probably somebody's necklace. Maybe on a boat. It got broken and it fell. And somehow it got tumbled up onto my beach. And I saw it and I picked it up. And now I have it to make my sun catcher with. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold this up so that I can see if there's any cracks that I'm missing. Like yep, there's one right there that I probably should fill in with. Maybe I can find a little blue piece. And there is my itty bitty blue piece that I did not pass up. And I'm glad that I didn't, because now I need it. Little tap of glue. Gotta find my crack again. There it is. again with the tweezers, very gently turn it over, get that in there, kind of hit it a little bit to get it inside of there. And then we're going to go from here. Now you can either leave it like this to where, here, I'll try to get it closer. You can either leave it like this with the etching on it, with the etching from the waves of it, tumbling it. I take some either clear nail polish or some clear polyurethane. This is what I have today, and with some nail polish. And I'm going to go over this just to give them that wet look when I found them. You just do each one, and they start to look wet. It gives them a protective coating from dust and particles flying around in the air. Keeps them looking nice. And some of them you can still see the etching even after giving them a coat of clear. You're going to want to let this dry for at least an hour, because you got glue and now you've got some kind of clear coating on them. So you want to make sure that everything is dry before you go and start handling it, because you don't want anything to slide off. And trust me, I've done that and it's not fun. Then we're going to move on to attaching the chain to it. I understand, that a lot of people don't have a Great Lake in their backyard like I do. You can purchase beach glass online. So if you have, any kind of disability where you can't get on the beach, but you really like the way this looks and you want to make one, you can order beach glass online, or you can get a rock tumbler and you can break your own glass and you can make your own beach glass. Of course, it's not beach glass, but it's the same concept. Looks like I might have missed a spot there. Sometimes after it's drying, it still looks etched, which is fine because that's just the way it is. Each piece is unique in its own way. There is not one out there that I've made that is the same. And everybody that I have gifted them to absolutely loves them. And they are wonderful little gifts. Wonderful, wonderful presents. Because they are not only pretty, but they're homemade. They're handmade. And Christmas is coming. I'll be right back in a little bit. I'm going to let this dry. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach the chain to it. I'm going to show you how to do that. So now that my sun catcher is dry, it's time to put the chain on it for hanging. And you take one part of your chain here and you're going to want to pry open one side, like so, wide enough to where it can get around each corner. You're going to want to make that as even as possible. You're going to want to hold it like that and then just pinch it back together so that it doesn't fall apart. There we go. I just pried that apart. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hook it on this side. Flip it over. Pinch that together closed. And there you have it. A beach glass sun catcher. I'm going to go put this in the window and we'll see what it looks like.
It's so strong enough.